You've heard of unconditional love, but have you heard of the secret to unconditional happiness and allowing more into your life? More wealth, more success, and more love. More freedom in your life right now. Welcome to the Happy Bar with Israel Savage.
If you did get what you want, and if you were getting paid as an actor and you didn't have to have just, a regular job to support the habit. And and that would be a great feeling. So I try my best to think about that, but in the moment it gets really tough. And in the moment it's really hard to have clarity, because in the moment I'm just coming in hot and heavy, and it's just like like the gears are just going 1,000 miles an hour. And that's a personality thing. So I started to do this meditation called Shavasana, and that really helped me the first day, second day, third day. But then fourth day, it's just like, it gets so hard to sit there for a half an hour. And usually it took me like 45 to 50 minutes to get in the place of no thinking, which felt absolutely wonderful. But then now it's taking like 2 hours, 3 hours, because my wedding is coming up too, and I'm trying to get the proper auditions, and I'm trying to meet this agent that I've been trying to get representation from him for a long, long time. And it just seems like it's just not working. Just like the bigger picture of the career is really, really slow. And then every time, I go into nature, and every time I do the Shavasana, for some reason, I think that, why am I wasting my time with this? Why I should be just standing at that agent's house with a guitar singing "I'll Be There For You" by Bon Jovi, just trying to get him to love me and just give me a chance, because that's all I need. I want him to see me audition. I sent him so many reels and stuff, and he's never really commented on it or anything. And I don't really think he's opened it, because I'd be able to tell if he's opened it.
I agree. So that gives us a lot to talk about, and I'm so glad that you chimed in, because it's the perfect conversation for right now. The absolutely perfect conversation, and your experience was perfectly summarized, and it's an experience we can all relate to. And so this is a conversation about desire and resistance. And I heard both in what you were talking about. I heard a great desire, and I heard a great amount of resistance. And neither is wrong or right. We can amp up our desire to such a degree that it overcomes any of our resistance, or we can lower our resistance so that our desires must physically manifest, right? And so resistance, the conversation about resistance might be a little different than what you might think. If you are sitting there and all you can think about is, I shouldn't be doing this, I don't want to be doing this, I'd rather be doing something else, then go do something else. The path of least resistance is what you always want to take as you try to find that better and better feeling place. Now, there's a part of us that wants to shoehorn things in. We want our life to follow a script. And this is for everybody. Everybody, we can have this happen. I saw person A be successful at what I want to do by doing X, Y, and Z. And so I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and it must happen in X, Y, and Z order. And here's how it must happen. Meanwhile, there's a lot of other letters in the alphabet, but we can't see them. We can't get in touch with all these opportunities that are flying by us, because we're so set on it happening this way. And we only will allow success to come to us this way. I always think about someone in studios, one of our actors, who really wanted this part. He auditioned for it. He didn't hear about it for a couple weeks. 3 weeks go by, and he gets the role. the role that he wanted more than anything. It's his. They had offered it to another person who for whatever reason didn't take it or something happened. And so he was next in line and he got the part. But then he started to think, oh, but I really I feel like I need more time to really be my best. And maybe I'm not ready for this. And this is happening sooner than I had planned it, and perhaps I should just go and take more classes and do this and this and this and this. This isn't truly what I expected, even though I wanted it. It's happening a little sooner than I thought. And he turned down the part, right? He talked himself right out of it. And what I want to say is that there is no right or wrong way to do things. However, whatever our desire is, our greater self will get us there, in spite of our resistance, in spite of the roadblocks that we put in the way. No matter what, we will get there. But will our journey be a smooth one, an efficient one, or not? And I always think about keys, because I do my best to put my keys in the same spot and really don't think about them until it's time to head out the door. And when my keys aren't there, I could have this reaction. My keys aren't there. Somebody move my keys. I'm going to be late. I've got to teach a class. Nobody can get in if I'm not there. The trains aren't running right anyway, and my keys are gone. Oh my gosh. And I could be in this place of my keys are gone. Or I could have this reaction. Oh, my keys aren't where I put them usually. Well, I've still got to finish getting ready. So let me just do all the stuff I know I have to do anyway. That's easier. It's easier to just do that right now than to find my keys. And my apartment's not huge. And I usually walk the same path in my apartment, and maybe it'll turn up. And I look at the weather, and it looks like it's going to be cold. And so I get a jacket. I put my jacket on, and I feel a jingle jingle in my jacket. Oh, there are my keys. There you go. And so what the universe is looking for is just that crack in resistance, where we let it all go, where we let the pressure of it all go, where we let the must be this way, it should be this way go, where we can just relax into just feeling good right now, right? And so when there's that crack of in that resistance, in this case, it was me saying, let me just focus on some other stuff that I need to do, not the thing that is upsetting me. Then the universe, in the most unconventional way, who would have thought, by putting on my coat because it was cold outside, by being inspired to do that, that would lead me to the very thing I wanted. And so when you line up with this good feeling place, and when you make that your top priority, you're going to receive inspiration to do things that feel unconventional. And it's going to be things like going to a cafe or talking to this person or doing this. And it's going to be completely different than what you would have scripted out, physical you would have scripted out, because your greater you has the full perspective of everything you want and all the other moving parts and pieces to get you there. Now we can trust our GPS to guide us, right? Because it's got all the maps and all the routes, and especially these days, it's got all the traffic reports and everything else there. Or we can refuse. That's the stereotype about men, right? That we don't ask for directions. We can refuse for any help from anywhere, and just drive on the path. And even if that path means spiritual sounding things like meditating, if meditation might not be the best thing for you to do in that moment. And the way you know that is it doesn't feel good to do it. It doesn't feel like relief. When I say better and better feeling thought, I just mean relief from where you are. And if meditation is creating more anxiety in you in that moment, because your thoughts about it are creating more anxiety in you in that moment rather than more relief, then it's not the better feeling path. And the better feeling path is going to light up for you the next step and next step and next step to get where you want. And so it's all about that desire, that resistance, and about momentum. And I appreciate so much what you said about once it gets going, it gets going. And that's not unique to you. That's for all of us. Once there's momentum in place around a topic or a subject, then you just have to ride it out. It just doesn't make sense to jump in front of the car when it's halfway down the hill and try to stop it. Just let it reach the bottom of the hill and then go and get in the front seat and start driving it again, right? But sometimes you have to just let things play out and go to bed and start a new day. If you liked what you just heard, then take inspired action now. That's right, act while you are feeling good. And build on your momentum. Schedule your free discovery call with me at instudios-nyc.com/happybar.